This podcast is part of Another Happy Studios,
the home of podcasts with passion.
Hello folks, welcome to the Fishing Trip Files, a Gavin and Stacey podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. This is a podcast where every other week we like to take a look back at the wonderful, hilarious and silly little British sitcom that is Gavin and Stacey. My name is Pierce and I've been a lifelong fan of the show, but for my co-hosts it's their very first time watching. Speaking of co-hosts, dialing in from the exotic land of Canada, we are joined by the brilliant Maylina. How you doing, Maylina?
Oh my god, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. And of course, hailing all the way from the USA, we're joined by the one-of-a-kind Ari. How you doing, Ari?
I'm great. How are you, Pierce?
Wow, you didn't react at all. You're stone cold. You're a professional.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, Ari. Just keeping you on your toes, you know? Sometimes I'm gonna switch up.
Yeah, are you gonna explain what you did there?
So, usually I say hello to Ari first, and this week I said hello to May.
Amazing.
And we're on a video call right now, and I saw May's face like drop in panic as soon as I said Canada.
No. I was very professional about it.
You love scaring me.
Yeah, I love fucking with you guys, man. It's that was fun. I had a good time
for
with
sure.
Yeah, that was a great time. Let's never do it again. It's a fun little experiment that we did. We know what would happen now. We don't have to do it ever again.
But what are we here to do? We are here to talk about season 2, episode 2 of Gavin and Stacey. Do we know the title of the episode?
No, bitch.
I'll say.
What was it last week?
Last week was They're Back.
They're Back Part 2.
They're back. Okay, that's not a bad shout, you know.
The tantrum.
The tantrum.
We'll get
shit.
there.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
May was closer. It's On the Run, is what it's called.
Oh hell yes! I was gonna say that.
I don't like that you're making us compete like this. May and I are on the same team.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. We can skip this bit, whatever. This episode was aired on the 16th of March 2008, 10 days after my 10th birthday.
Happy birthday.
The same day as the last episode. They were aired one after the other directly. Do we have overall thoughts on the episode?
It was good. I really liked it. There's some really good character moments, I think. So in my notes, I was trying to be better this episode. And so I made a box in my notes for overall thoughts, and I was going to fill it out later.
It's just empty!
But you know what? It's progress.
It is. I appreciate the box being made. That's great. May, do you have any overall thoughts?
I wouldn't like. It was a bit sad at the end. There was some good moments and all that stuff. I will say right off the top, I'm recording this in my childhood bedroom, which I think is pretty topical to the episode. Couldn't be Stacey.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Yeah, I've got thoughts on that situation as well.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah.
I've noticed that for my overall thoughts, I often start them with the 4 words, I like this episode a lot. I'm going through all of my notes, and for a lot of the episodes, they start off with, I like this episode.
Is that how this one starts?
It is, yeah. It says, I like this episode.
Great.
But yeah, this is like, there's a few moments in this where we see sort of, it's like a turning point for Smithy. Like, he matures a lot over the course of just this one episode, and like, I don't know whether you guys like noticed or appreciated that at all, but I'm sure we'll get into it.
We'll get there.
And also we meet Rudy, which is great. We'll get into that later as well, which I'm really excited about. But where do we open up? What's the first thing we see during the episode?
My first note is that I was right. We pick up directly off of last episode.
You called it. You did an amazing job.
I predicted the entire show.
You know about the alien abduction scene that's coming in season 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the credits and Ari's name is popping up a lot.
It's been a long con. My next note on the scene. So then we pick up directly off of last week when Ness is like, I'm pregnant and you're the father, and like everyone's behind her, kind of like supporting her.
Yes.
My first note on this episode is that like, and I guess this is probably kind of in the last episode too, but I hadn't picked up on it. But everyone's facial expressions in this scene are great. Did you notice this? Yeah.
I don't think I had any notes on this. Go on.
They're all behind Nessa, and like the episode starts like with the last couple seconds of the episode before where she's like, I'm pregnant and you're the father. And then they kind of like just take a beat with that. I mean, I wrote back and like paused it and I wrote down what like everyone was doing. But like Pam is like in tears. Like she's like
of course she is.
Mick just looks kind of tired, like over it. But Gwen like has this very like tender expression on her face, like she's like emotionally into this. Nessa's like obviously like very serious. Stacey looks terrified, like does not know what's about to happen. And then Gavin just does not want to be there. Like she's like looking for the exit.
That kind of tracks. Yeah, that makes sense for all of their characters. I love that.
Like one of those Renaissance paintings where like everybody has a different like facial
expression. Michelangelo painted that. I think you'll find.
Oh, but then my next note was that like my immediate thought, like trying to figure out what was about to happen. I was like, I feel like Smithy's gonna like make a joke about this or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't make a joke. He's like,
no.
He's scared. He's like lashing out. He's annoyed that everyone found out before him.
Yeah.
And like,
he's like kind of paranoid as well.
Yeah. It's like, he's got all of these like feelings that you get from world breaking news. And he's just lashing out. For reasons, like none of these issues that he's bringing up are his actual issue. He's taking the issue that he actually has, which is that Nessa is pregnant, and he's like projecting it onto all of these other things.
Yeah. He also blames Gavin. He also blames Gavin for taking him to the meetup in the first place. And then like Nessa's just like, that's not when it fucking happened, bro. And I just think it's so funny that she knows the exact fucking day. This girl is so fucking regular, it's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. We can get into this a little bit. My first note on this scene is that God, I hate Smithy.
Yeah, he's not exceedingly likable in this scene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you've got a very like sympathetic view towards him here, which I like. Yeah, he's like getting some very difficult news, and like you're not going to be like completely in control of yourself in that situation. Sure. Maybe I hate people who get angry like this though. Like who like he like stands up and like throws a chair or something. Like I hate like I don't want to say like I hate men who do this because I'm trying not to. I'm making an effort to be less sexist in that way, but it does. A lot of the time, often this is men who like get angry and like by becoming physical, and I really dislike that character trait.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said, but I would say that this is like the worst we ever see Smithy.
Yeah.
This is like the worst we see any character, I think, in the show, because like this is just such. It's just to show like how much it's affecting him. It's not like this is what Smithy is like on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is like, you know. But I do agree with everything that you're saying.
But it does match the fact that like Smithy in these episodes has been, and he admits it later on in this episode, kind of like childish a little bit. He has like I'd almost like compare his whole reaction throughout the episode to like a tantrum. Where he like insults a bunch of people, he like throws stuff around, he like storms off, and then everybody has to go and find him and be like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?"
You had a little think about what happened.
Big feelings back there, eh?
You want some snacks?
Except obviously the news is a lot bigger than maybe a kid would get.
Yeah. He's not allowed to play with the ball on the playground right now. He's
Bro's getting an 18-year minimum responsibility out of this. That's longer than a dog.
There's one line where as Smithy's having his tantrum in the restaurant, like Gavin says, "Oh, come on, mate," and Smithy responds with, "Don't come on me, mate," which is very, very, very nice dialogue. I love that line. It's like just the perfect little exchange that is one of the things I love about this show.
Yeah.
But he's just in a massive panic, and he runs out of the restaurant, and then we cut to titles. It's the second and the final episode that doesn't open with a phone call. All of the other ones do.
Oh, you're right.
So we'll
and if one doesn't, what do we do?
We kill
you.
If
one doesn't, then I will cook and eat an omelette on pod.
Okay.
And we'll add that to the omelet counter.
I think we should do that. I think we should do that during the finale anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
Should all make omelets.
But after the titles, where are we? What do we do? Where do we go? What do we see? Who are we with?
Whoa, come on, man. Yeah, so they're in the car. They're in the car. The boys are in the car, and they're trying to reach. Yeah, they're trying to reach Smithy. Smithy is not answering his calls. They don't know where the fuck he is. And my note on this is that, like, it's funny because when the scene ends, when Smithy storms off, Gavin tries to go after him, and Mickey stops him. But now they're in the car looking for him. Couldn't you just have let Gavin go after Smithy like that? Like, I don't know.
This has always been something that I've thought about.
I think maybe Mick's thinking was, like, if Gavin had chased him in that moment, like, Smithy wouldn't have reacted well. Like, they needed to give him time to, like, go off and do his thing for a minute.
That's a good point. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe that's a good headcanon to have, I think. I've always wondered what that might have, like, why Mick did that, and then the next shot is them out looking for Smithy. It's just
it is a funny like next scene, but I think maybe that's why.
Whatever.
Though I like in the scene I like, so it's like Mick and Gavin in the front seat, like, you know, out looking for Smithy, and like Gavin's calling him and stuff. Bryn does not need to be there, but he's just in the back seat.
He's just there for the vibes, man. He's like pretending to be a police detective. He's having a great time, man.
I love that Bryn is always having a good time.
Yeah, legit, man. He's always having a good time. I love it. Fucking, he's like doing the radios and shit. He's like, still no sign of a Smithy. Repeat, no sign. Over.
And this is when I realized this was going to be a Smithy episode, and I was like, I don't think Ari is going to like this too much.
But they start talking about Lucy, and like, because that might be a place where they could go to find Smithy. They go to Lucy's place, but they fucking Bryn asks how old Lucy is, and we find out that she's 18 next week. So...
finally an adult. I wrote. Finally, someone is asking the real questions.
I know. You guys were curious about how old, like when she was gonna finally fucking turn 18.
And Smithy's wondering this too.
Smith, that's all Smithy's thinking about.
And he is. Where we leave this episode, he's like considering breaking up with her. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's not. He's worried that she's going to break up with him because of what happened with Nessa. But we'll get there. Then we cut to the ladies, Pam and Mix. We got Pam, Gwen, Nessa, and Stacey.
And they're stress drinking. They're getting drinks ready. And they're just like, I like how Nessa goes like, is there any alcohol in a Bailey's? And somebody, I don't remember who it is, that goes like, well, Stacey. Barely.
Yeah, and to be clear, Bailey's is 17%. I looked this up. It's 17%.
I'm not even British, and I know the answer to this one.
Oh, Bailey's is very popular at my house. We have a...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, there's a fuck ton of alcohol in a fucking Bailey's, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, they're having a good old-fashioned ladies gossip sesh, which I fucking love.
Well, just before the gossip sesh, Nessa leaves the room because she's going to go make a cup of tea because she can't drink. And she has this amazingly cold line before she leaves. Because Pam says, I'll make you a cup of tea if you want. Don't worry about it. And Nessa's like, no. I need to take my mind off the fact that I'm pregnant by a man I can't stand. It's like so like brutal. I love it so much.
So fair.
Yeah. But then, May, tell us about the gossip sesh that you love so much.
So here's what I love about becoming an adult. So as a kid, you are not privy to any of like your family drama, right?
Oh, you're so right.
There's a certain age where your parents feel the need to like now let you in on like lore that you have never been made aware of. And so then there's a period of time where you just become more and more aware of like how fucked up your family is. And I love that shit.
I'm sure you fucking do, man. I'm sure you do.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
No. Just like I know what you're like, and you would eat that shit up.
I did. And so when I was listening to this conversation, I was like, oh my god, fond fucking memories. Especially the part where Stacey's mom was talking about how like Stacey's dad was like into like he was like basically like a fucking criminal or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of like when I became an adult and my mom was just like, I used to do acid, I used to beat the fuck out of people, and I was just like, this is fucking insane.
Can we include this? Is this allowed?
Yeah.
Are we okay? Okay.
All right, back to Gavin and Stacey. I'm just saying, lore drops as an adult are a lot of fun.
They're really good.
All right, great.
But then Pam and Gwen go on to have a scientific breakthrough. They like have a little eureka moment where they figure out that if you are a woman and you don't get on with your mother, you become a lesbian. And if you're a man and you don't get on with your father, you become a gay man. Ari,
All right, before you ask this question, my relationship with my mother is fine. That's the only note I wrote for this scene.
I was just about to ask, how is your relationship with your mother, Ari? I do like how sure of themselves like Pam and Gwen are that they've cracked it. Like they're like, oh yeah, that's it. We've done it. We've solved science. That's it. Well done us. We did it. And then Nessa starts talking to us about her living situation. I know you guys were curious earlier in season 1, like where Nessa lives. She lives with a band called The Distance. 3 members of Catatonia and Noel Sullivan from Hearsay. The Distance aren't a real band.
Okay.
I'll make that clear now. They're not a real band.
Okay.
But the members that they are made up from are real people. Like Noel Sullivan is a real person.
Okay.
Who are Richard and Judy is my next note, but I don't remember what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh, here we go. Richard and Judy. So Nessa says that Richard says that she can go to live with them, but Judy won't have it.
Yeah.
So Richard and Judy, they're hard to explain who they are. They were, so from what I know, because I only have vague memories from when I was like 5 years old and my grandparents used to watch Richard and Judy. There was a TV show called Richard and Judy, and it was like, they were like news presenters, but they were husband and wife, and they had their own show called Richard and Judy, and it's like, the best possible way that I can like figure out how to describe it to an American and Canadian person is that it's like, if you imagine Ellen, but more news-like and presented by a husband and wife couple. Like, they're more like professional, and it was from like the early 2000s.
It's like a morning show.
Yeah, like a morning show. Yeah, for real.
For
That's
sure.
all it is. But they're like they were very highly regarded in Britain in like the early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah.
After the law drop that Nessa used to be a part of Richard and Judy's lives, we go to the drive-thru.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all fuck with the drive-thru?
I love a drive-thru, man. I mean, I don't have a car, so I only get to enjoy a drive-thru
Okay.
when I'm in someone else's car, but I fucking love a drive-thru.
So yeah, I guess I don't go to the drive-thru like all the time. Like I can't honestly really remember the last time I went to a drive-thru. But yeah, I hadn't really thought
neither,
about
to be honest.
I hadn't really thought about that being an American thing, but I guess that makes sense.
It's not really an American thing. It's just that Bryn is so sheltered from everything in the world that he's like, oh,
Right.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know. But then we get to they drive up to the window,
Yeah.
and the first person that we see in the window, you know, the person they say, oh, is Rudy here? Is Smithy here?
Yeah.
That person that calls Smithy over, that calls Rudy over, she is played by James Corden's IRL sister.
Oh, cute.
So it's like,
Is she in Doctor Who?
she's not. No, this is like the biggest thing she's ever done is this
Okay.
cameo. She's not really an actress.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool that it's like James Corden's real sister is calling over James Corden's fake sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fun little thing. And I've just got Rudy in all caps because I fucking love Rudy. I think she's great.
I have it that it's hilarious that she's also called Smithy, which I guess makes sense because it's their last name,
Yeah.
but not everybody goes by their last name, so it's just funny that
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
brother-sister duo have the same nickname.
Yeah. We get more into this in a little bit. There's in a few episodes.
Well, it also raises the question of, does Smithy have a first name?
He does.
Great.
Moving on.
I'm so glad you're here, Pierce, to tell us.
But there's another fun fact here, which is that Sheridan Smith, who's the woman who plays Rudy, she was actually dating James Corden during at least some of the filming of this show. Like they were together. I'm not sure when. But I feel like it was most of it or all of it. Even I'm not actually sure. But yeah, they were together for some of this.
I have a note that says the whole family knows about Lucy. This is insane. Is there a town-wide gas leak? Because the sister's in on it too, and this is fucking insane. Every time I find out that someone else is in on this, it's like it's like, you know how like in those true crime documentaries you like find it, they'll be like, yeah, and the neighbor saw stuff 2 weeks before it happened, and you're just like, how come the neighbor didn't do anything? That's how I feel about all of these fucking characters.
Oh, fucking hell.
My main note about the scene is about Bryn. I just wrote, let Bryn speak.
I think it's so funny the way Bryn like raises his window after Mick tells him to shut up. But yeah, Rudy gets it, man. She's like, 10 B&H, like, what's the big deal? Fucking
yeah. I'd argue Lucy is not the person who should be getting in trouble for anything in this whole situation.
Yeah, for real. But then before they head off, like, oh well, thanks anyway, Smithby. We'll see you later. She suggests the driving range, which is a big eureka moment because they're like, "Oh, of course, that's where it'll be."
Yeah,
and
they name like specific instances that like he's gone to this area. One of which was Pam telling him he needed to go on a diet.
Yeah,
Very funny.
Not cool from Pam. But
No. Yeah, they're just keeping a fucking list, and that's what I really like.
Yeah, I love a list.
Mm-hmm.
But then we go back to Pam, Gwen, and Ness.
Yes.
And Gwen has offered to let Ness live in Stacey's old room now that she's moved out.
Yeah.
Super supportive of Gwen. Very cool. God love her. What a great woman.
Yeah.
And Stacey is not into this idea at all.
Yes, and so you know how like in episode 1 I called that Stacey was a compulsive liar?
Yeah.
I feel like this one's, and I think this is less of an ambitious guess, but this time I have Stacey's an emotionally immature individual. And so there we go.
I think we've seen that. We've seen that already.
No, I guessed it and I got it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
My parents did this to me recently.
Oh yeah.
So I've been living mostly like not with my parents for a few years now, and like they moved, so my brother and I are both in college, not living with our parents, and they moved into a house with 3 bedrooms, so one for my sister, one for each of my sisters, and then one for my parents, and only 1 guest room. So my brother and I, like, we can't like go home at the same time, basically.
Oh shit! So one of you's gonna have to sleep on the couch.
Yeah. So, but it's also like, they did the same thing to, I guess we'll get more into it later, but like, we had to move all our stuff out because like, it's also just their guest room, so we can't keep our stuff there.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I just went through this.
Yeah. How does that how does Stacey's response resonate with you?
Yeah, it was.
Did you do the same? Did you have a massive tantrum?
For me, like, you know, it's fair enough for my parents. Like, I've been moved out for a couple of years, but at the same time, it's like, so like I don't have a lot of storage space where I am because I share with roommates. So like, you know, it was nice to be able to keep some stuff at my parents' house, and like, it did feel like a little like I was being rushed a little bit to like kind of grow up. Yeah.
Oh, that's that's really lovely.
Right. Calm down, Pierce.
No, I'm just like, that was just like a really earnest little moment. It was nice.
For sure.
I wasn't sure whether Stacey was justified here. But I was like, what I wrote was, is Stacey justified here? I don't think she is. And I was going to open the floor to you guys, but you've already basically answered it and said, like, no.
Exactly. I think if you look at it through, like, a logic, like, okay, utilitarian, like, we need this room type of way, it is like, okay, calm down, Stacey. You don't live there anymore. You're not going to be there all the time. We might as well use it as a guest room. But from the point of, like, is she justified? I think, like, I've also had to move away from, like, my mom's house, and, like, my childhood bedroom is kind of like being used as well as a guest room now. So like sometimes I'll come in and there'll be like someone else's stuff in it, and I understand kind of feeling a bit like you know it's not fully justified, but you're still like a little bit like, oh, that's my fucking room, man. I do think I do think her yelling at Pam that this isn't her house, and that her that's a bit fucked, because like Pam's done a lot to like try to make her feel welcome and like accepted and all that stuff. I don't know, it's a bit hurtful, but like she's not a bad person for having emotions. I just think like, again, it's just that she's a bit emotionally immature.
she's not expressing her emotions well. In this scenario.
If you're listening to this podcast going like, how come they didn't have as much grace for Smithy's character? It's because Stacey's not dating a 17-year-old. That's why.
It's an excellent point. Speaking of Smithy, we do go back to Smithy at the driving range next. Have you guys ever been to a driving range?
No, it's just not something that's interesting to me. Pierce, have you been to a driving range?
I have. I went when I was maybe 12 or so for like, I don't know, I can't even remember. I think it was a birthday party for someone.
Weird birthday party.
Yeah, a very weird birthday party, right? And like, especially for a fucking 12-year-old. But I thought I was like, I was in the same position you were in, Ari. I was like, this doesn't seem like my sort of thing at all. But I had a really fucking good time there. I remember having a wicked time. It was really fun. Because you just like, you're not like, it's not like you're playing golf where you have to like be really precise and stuff. It's just like, you get a ball and you see how far you hit it, and that's it. Like, that's the whole game. It's great.
Nice.
My first note for this scene is serious conversation music.
Yeah, fucking, there's an incredible riff over this scene. It's an Arctic Monkey song called... Hang on. Only Ones Who Know. Thank you, Ricky, who is my good friend, who I had to check what the title of that song was because she knew and I didn't.
You can't just Shazam it?
I couldn't be bothered. I was like, I'll just message Ricky, it'll be quicker.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Because I would have had to like take my headphones off and unplug them and everything and like play the music through the speakers.
Does Ricky listen to the pod?
I don't know. I don't think so. She knows it exists.
Okay.
Great. I'm always on that grind trying to get everyone I know to listen
real.
to it, but I can't expect everyone to.
Someone followed our account who's like also follows Denim Pirate. It's like, I wonder if that's one of Pierce's folks.
I think that was my buddy George.
Hell yeah. Shout out to George.
Shout out to George.
Here's my question. So the scene starts, right? The music starts playing. What made you think Ricky's gonna know what song this is?
All right, so here's the thing. Ricky is actually my ex. We're still on really good terms. And back when we were together, we used to watch Gavin and Stacey a lot. I showed Gavin and Stacey to Ricky.
All right,
And when I was showing Ricky this particular episode, the song played, obviously, and she was like, oh my god, I fucking love Arctic Monkeys. And I was like, oh, that's an Arctic Monkey song? I thought it was just a riff on a guitar. I didn't realize it was like sampled from an actual song. And that's how I knew that she would know. That's a fun little story for you.
Wow. This information's going to come back later looking ass.
But after the riff plays, they start talking to each other, obviously. And because that's how TV works. People talk to each other.
For sure.
And Smithy's very sort of humble here. And this is what I was saying earlier about like Smithy maturing very quickly. Like we're starting to see a side of Smithy that we haven't seen yet, where he's like sort of quite, mature, I would say. Would you disagree with that?
Not about I don't disagree. I do think that like James Corden sells the panic pretty well. Sorry, Ari. I think he it's a well acted scene where like you can very much tell that this guy's freaking the fuck out.
I'd agree with that. I will say I couldn't focus on anything happening in this scene because of Bryn in the background with his takeout.
He got some type of pastry, eh?
Well, yeah, he got a pie.
Yeah, but it's not apple turnover, because I remember I wrote apple turnover in my notes, but I remember in the moment I was like, that's not a fucking apple turnover.
Here's the thing, right? They went to the drive-thru and they presumably got something because fucking Bryn and Smithy ate everyone's food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why is Bryn the only one with food?
Stress eating, I guess.
yeah. Bryn's a stress eater. That'll come back. Let's write that down.
I don't think he's stressed, though. Right now.
No, man, Bryn is so chill.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overreading his character or whatever, but I've noticed like we'll get to this later, but like when Stacey was like saying goodbye to him, he was very, very chill, and then she said something that made him turn away immediately without saying it. So like he acts chill. I don't think he's always like as chill and like laissez-faire as like
in a few episodes time we will see stressed Bryn. We will see what that looks like.
Ooh.
But so Smithy's like sort of explaining to Gav like why he's feeling as panicked as he does. He's like, I don't know anything about like nappies or he says, I don't know anything about nappies, burping, or umbilical cords. And umbilical cords is so funny to me. Like,
That's fair. I don't know anything about those things either. And umbilical cords
I don't
especially.
know. It's so weird. Do they like...
Well, yeah. So the baby comes out.
But then we have Mick just being Mick, like explaining to Smithy that, you know, no one's ready and he can do this, you know? Like he's just basically just being there for Smithy, being a father figure, which is really, really nice. I like that. I like that a lot. And we have to remember here, right? This monologue from Mick that he's giving to Smithy, like talking about how, you know, he was feeling the exact same thing that Smithy was feeling, or very similar at least. This was written by James and Ruth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have no idea where they managed to pull from to write this, but this is just incredible writing. Like, incredible dialogue writing from them. I love this show, man.
But I think like so many parents will tell you that like even if their kid was planned or whatever, like there's still a little bit of like, oh fuck, am I ready for this? Especially when it's like your first kid or like even your second kid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I think it's like it's a very relatable scenario to be in, I guess.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then they have the little apple pie scene.
Yeah. I wrote Bryn is the best person in the world.
Yeah.
For real, man. He fucking gives him the whole apple pie. And then they even warn him because it's going to be hot.
He's like, be careful, it's hot.
and Smithy's little, thanks, guys. Like, such a profound earnestness in the thanks, guys, from Smithy. I love it. And then where do we go?
We go back to the house with the woman.
We do. And we get the apology from Stacey with Gwen on looking.
Well, wait. So which of these happens? The apology or Nessa's comment about not liking being touched from the waist up?
Oh no, the waist up is first. Go on, if you have a note on that. I don't have any notes on that.
I just think the delivery is really so Pam and Nessa are in the kitchen. Pam's doing the dishes and Nessa seems to be like deep in fucking thought. And Pam offers Nessa like a massage. And like a head massage. Yeah, like a head massage. And Nessa says that she doesn't like being touched from the waist up, but that the waist down is fair game. In fact, she likes that. And I just think that that's so fucking funny.
Yeah. She's like, if anything, I love it.
Yeah. So there we go. What next?
Then I guess we go to Stacey apologizing to Nessa.
Yeah. And you can tell from the body language of Gwen and Stacey standing next to each other, you can tell exactly what the conversation between Gwen and Stacey just was. Like, you can tell it was like Gwen being like, you need to apologize, this is what you have to say, and I'm going to come with you to make sure you say it right. Like, it's very mother-daughter.
Yeah, and I like how Stacey, she goes like, I'm sorry I said that this wasn't my house. I mean, it's not, but I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very Stacey. And then the boys get back, right?
Yeah.
The boys are back in town. Bryn makes a comment about how he's very he lives a very sheltered life golf-wise.
Yeah. It's been a big night for Bryn, right? He's had a drive-through and a driving range all in one night. What a life.
I just think that that's a very funny way to say that you just never played golf.
Golf. Yeah, you've either played golf or you haven't. And he's I've lived a very sheltered life.
Lived a very sheltered life golf-wise. I'm going to be adding that to my own personal lexicon from now on.
While they're waiting for Smithy to come in, Stacey goes into the kitchen to gossip with Gav about what happened in with the bedroom, you know?
Yeah.
And Gavin does not and her. He's like, no, it's fine. Like, you're not using the bedroom anyway. We can stay at Bryn's. We can sleep on an airbed. Chill out.
Yeah.
Like,
I do have a bit of a note on this. Okay, so...
Go on. Tell me more.
And maybe this hasn't pissed off anybody else and I'm just being dramatic, okay? So, Smithy and Gavin, right?
Yeah.
Meet up for the first time. Where do they meet up?
School?
No, what? Oh, wait. Stacey and Gavin.
So I thought you said Smithy and Gavin.
I did, and then I corrected myself,
meet
but
up.
I understand the confusion.
Okay.
Stacey and Gavin meet up for the first time. Where do they meet up?
Leicester Square.
Yeah. Who's closer to Leicester Square?
So, go on, do you want to try that again? I'm going to keep this
No.
in.
I'm not trying that shit again. It's Gavin, okay?
For real.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Gavin.
Then, right, they spend most of their time at Gavin's house. And then they get married. Of course it's in fucking Wales, but this time everybody freaks out like it's this big fucking thing. Now they're moving into Gavin's fucking house where Gavin gets to see his fucking parents every day. And she's like, this is fucked. I'm gonna miss my parents. I don't want to give up my childhood bedroom. And he's like, you fucking dramatic cunt.
Bitch, no, bitch, you're being hysterical.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool, Gavin. If you think that I'm fucking freaking out, let's fucking move to Barry, bitch, on the fucking ferry or whatever the fuck your mom said about my mom. Fucking, if you don't think it's that big of a fucking deal, let's move to fucking Barry. Let's see how that fucking goes, bitch. Yeah. You're gonna be crying by noon.
I agree with you. Oh, we will have more conversations along these lines in episodes to come. Don't you worry.
Oh, look at me noticing stuff.
Bro's obsessed with sizzling.
Yeah.
I can't fucking, like, I can't do like a whole spiel about it because I know that there's a more apt place where I'll be able to say stuff later. Okay. So fucking shut up. I know what I'm doing, alright? Yeah. But yeah, Smithy walks back in and he couldn't get through to Lucy. She's at the gym corner.
Yes. and being grounded doesn't apply to horse-based events, guys.
I love this line! I love it! It doesn't apply to horse-based events. It's such a fucking hilarious line.
I think so. I'd not heard of Gymkhana here. I think it's not as big of a thing in the US. I did look it up.
No, it's not really a big thing here either. I don't know what it is.
Okay. All right. I was going to ask, is there a joke there? Like, is that like associated with children?
Yeah, they must be, right?
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't have said that if it wasn't. They weren't making another child joke.
Yeah,
right?
no, I think it said on Wikipedia there's a lot of children's leagues, but I just wasn't sure what the associations were.
Probably it. But yeah, then we get the sort of deep breath from Smithy, and he goes to fucking propose to Nessa, doesn't he?
I like how everyone's immediately like, what the fuck?
Yeah, fucking grow up, Smithy. Fucking get up off the floor, you idiot. What are you doing?
The rest of the scene, there's some interesting, I guess, directing happening. Just how, like, Nessa and Smithy are both, like, angry at each other, or acting angry at each other. But, like, Nessa's seated, so she's, like, directing everything upwards towards him, whereas Smithy is, like, pacing the room. It's very interesting. I wrote down, like, James Corden's doing, like, a good job, but I was, like,
Damn, okay.
I was particularly interested.
We need that on the record. That is a compliment to James Corden from Ari.
I think I've complimented his acting before. Like, I'll give props when they're due. But like, no, but then, like, Nessa was, I thought her, because she's just seated on the couch. Like, she can't do a lot with movement. And she's doing a really good, like, angry performance. Like, just seated, just from the couch.
Ruth Jones is amazing, right? She's just the best actor in the world, man. There's so much back and forth in this scene, and it's done so well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Smithy's being quite mean to her, and Nessa's a queen for not fucking beating him up right then and there.
Yeah, for real. She's like, I would have said no, and then Smithy goes, yeah, sure, of course you would have said no. And then her response is, oh, don't diss me in front of people. I'd have said no.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Good
don't diss me in front of people. Yeah, for real.
I have one more on this scene. It's when they finally, like, kind of reconcile a little bit and Bryn starts clapping.
Oh, yeah, there's a bit like Smithy, like, recites the speech that Mick gave him at the driving range, and at the end of it, Bryn just starts clapping and no one else joins in.
Yeah, people need to yes and Bryn like a whole lot more than they do.
I love that he's so invested, though. He's like about to cry. Like,
yeah, for real. Oh, there is one line here. When Smithy is just barraging Nessa with insults, he says that Nessa looks like she should be in Amsterdam doing tricks with Mars bars.
She's like, how did you know?
Yeah. I don't know what doing tricks with Mars bars means.
I thought he said doing tricks for Mars bars. As in, like...
He says with... No, he says with. It's definitely with.
Okay. Then I don't know.
But during my research when I was looking up, trying to find out what this actually means,
okay.
I found out that it is, in fact, a reference to... or a pastiche of a song by a rock rapper called Just Jack.
For sure.
There's a lyric in one of his songs which is all of the girls with their red lights on doing tricks with Mars bars. And James Corden just liked the way that line flowed so much that he just stole it and just used it in this show.
That's great.
Pretty cool.
Anybody else got notes for this scene?
Wow, thanks so much for the yes and there, brother. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that's great, Pierce. I actually love Mars bars. Here's a 15-minute story about Mars bars. Would that have been better?
Fucking hell. There's a balance, man. It's not either a 50-minute story about Mars bars or wow, how cool.
It's one or the other, Pierce.
It's not binary.
What's everybody's opinion on Mars bars? I like them.
I love a Mars bar personally.
There we go.
They're called like Milky Way over there, right?
Yeah, that's a candy.
Well,
yeah, that's what a Mars bar is over here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know it's a different.
Yeah.
I know it's a candy here too.
We have both. We have Mars bars and we have Milky Way.
We also have Mars bars and Milky Way. So over here, a Milky Way is a Mars bar without the caramel.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds weird. Is a Milky Way without the caramel good?
Yeah, it's really fucking good. I like it.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, I think we have the same thing as you guys for the British, not Ari.
Oh wait, that's it for Mars bar talk.
So, was that enough commentary on the Mars bar situation, Pierce?
That was great. That was exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. Well done, team. We did it. After that, everyone goes to bed and we get like shots of everyone asleep.
Yeah.
And we get one of Gwen and Nessa in bed together, and Nessa is just taking up the whole bed.
Topless.
Yeah.
Wearing just underwear.
Love it.
Yeah.
For real.
And I like how the next morning she's like, I didn't have any room, man. I was just...
Yeah.
Shit was rough.
Are you sleeping just underwear if you're sharing a bed, though? I feel like you put on a shirt at least.
It depends who with. Who with.
I feel like I'd be putting on a shirt at least.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different for you.
Elaborate on that, Pierce.
You said it in the weirdest way possible.
Yeah, there was like a silence there. It was like,
I don't know what to say.
Maybe that's different for you.
Your kind.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay. May, question for you. May,
Yeah.
as a woman. All right, you're having a sleepover with a girlfriend.
Yes.
Shirt on or off?
Shirt on. You?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shirt on.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. It's probably different.
Yeah.
Like I've got mates who I've slept in a bed with them with a top off.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. The rules might be a bit different for you, though.
For me, explain what you mean by that when you say me. For you, what does that mean, huh? I can turn the tables. I know how to turn tables. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
All right, next scene.
Next scene, we got Pam in the morning. Pam and Mick in the kitchen. Pam's making breakfast, and she's munching a sausage.
Hell yeah. And she's like, and this is a great scene because Mick brings up something that I've been bringing up since episode 1.
He says, why don't you just tell him you're not a vegetarian anymore? It's a brilliant
And she just
suggestion
fucking
that would solve
dismisses him.
all of our problems. Yes, before she has time to consider it, Gwen and Ness walk in and she just yeets the sausage.
And
I will say, okay, veggie sausages are pretty good. I will say.
Yeah. So these days, I've heard they're great. Did you have veggie sausages in like 2007, like 20 years ago?
I almost guarantee I did, because
okay.
I've been vegetarian. I was born in 2001, and I've been vegetarian for pretty much my whole life because I was raised vegetarian.
Right. Yeah.
And we've been buying pretty much the same product. Like this is like interesting to no one.
No. We can get some gold out of this, I'm sure.
I have a note on Pam's whole I'm gonna keep being vegetarian thing because now Stacey lives at her house and Stacey, with the lore that we know, also thinks that Pam's vegetarian. If you're still pretending to be vegetarian, I feel like you're just vegetarian at that point. If you're gonna keep being vegetarian while your daughter-in-law lives with you, I feel like you're just vegetarian, but you make exceptions sometimes whenever your daughter-in-law is
just
within
cheat.
the
You have
room.
little cheat days.
Yeah.
That's right.
like my sister's vegetarian. Occasionally she'll have like a steak, just like
Yeah.
Sure.
So I would say that Pam is as vegetarian as my sister.
That's so, like, sometimes people will say, oh, I know someone who's vegetarian, but occasionally they'll have some, like, animal gelatin sweets or something.
Yeah.
But no, my sister's vegetarian, but sometimes she'll have a big honking steak.
No, she said it herself. She's like,
I mean, isn't everyone vegetarian? But sometimes they'll have a steak.
But yeah, Bryn has had a power shower, and he has... Because Bryn just loves everything about life. He just had the best time in the world. He had the longest shower he's ever had in his life.
26 minutes. How long are you guys showering for?
Not 26 minutes, I'll say that.
It depends if I'm in a rush or not. I can shower so quick, man. I can shower in less than a minute
Humble
if
flex.
I need to. But equally, like, if I have all the time in the world and I have nowhere to be, I can easily spend at least like 40 to 50 minutes in the shower. Easily.
I like that he times it too.
Yeah, I do like that he remembered to check what time he got in and what time he got out. But then after that we get da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
Da
What a banger.
Yeah, right?
And what I
Fucking
know
love that
is
song.
that both me and Pierce looked up this song afterwards and have been listening to it lately. Ari?
I looked it up after you guys mentioned it.
You guys didn't know this song?
It was familiar. I didn't know it by title though. You know.
Yeah, it's one of those
man.
songs that I'm sure I've heard like a few times, but like I definitely am not like aware of this song.
It's come on the radio before,
Yeah.
but I've not.
Right.
I don't know.
I fucking love this song. Like, it's just such a feel-good song.
It's
man.
good. I like it. I've added it to my Spotify library.
Oh, let's go.
I whenever there's a song from Gavin and Stacey that I like, I have saved like the Gavin and Stacey fucking playlist
Yeah,
to my
the playlist.
Spotify, and I just go in there.
Yeah. We have Gavin and Stacey waking up in bed together, and like they have a little playful moment where Stacey is like self-conscious of her morning breath, and Gavin tells her to like talk on an in-breath, which I think is very cute.
We should do our podcast like that.
We need to do our podcast like that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We should do the podcast like that.
He choked on a goldfish.
No, I choked by my own breath, man. I'm talking on an in-breath. I fucking choked myself.
It's harder than it seems.
Yeah,
Take
for
some
real.
fucking practice. Clearly, Pierce is fine.
And then they sort of they start kissing and go on to perform other activities.
Yeah,
And,
it's a cute
then-
up until that. It's a cute scene. I won't like say that the other
You don't think-
activities are also cute. I mean,
You don't think the miracle of life is cute?
I'm not saying it's not cute. I'm saying I'm not adding it. It's not part of like what I'm saying is cute. I'm saying like it'd be weird to be like, "Aw, they're fucking."
Pierce has now planted the idea that maybe Stacey gets pregnant from this, though.
Oh,
I did notice that I did that, but I'm not going to confirm or deny whether that's true.
I've got a similar note for our predictions section though, so don't worry about it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. So then we cut as they're fucking, which is very cute.
Adorable.
We cut back downstairs to everyone eating breakfast, and then Bryn comes out with, and I'm gonna have some peanut butter and some
Yes.
jam.
It's so good.
Bryn has an online friend just like us.
I was cheering.
Yeah. Ari, as our resident American,
Yes.
I have 3 questions for you.
Yes,
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have.
Oh
been there
shit!
a few times. Yeah.
Did you go to the aerodrome while you were there?
I assumed this whole. I'll answer your question, but I assumed this. The answer is no. I assumed
Okay, cool.
because of the time period, and this, you might have to cut. If I'm wrong about this, it's gonna be really embarrassing. So you have to cut it. But I assume this whole bit is about Hurricane Katrina. It's a little bit dark, but there's a huge hurricane.
Maybe, yeah.
There was a huge hurricane that hit New Orleans in
Yeah,
2007 called Hurricane Katrina.
More like Hurricane Tortilla.
Come on, Pierce, that's insensitive.
Pierce, people died. There's a huge percentages of the New Orleans population.
I love how Ari, you were like, Pierce, people died, and then you just moved on, like completely deadpan. That was so fucking funny.
Huge percentages of New Orleanians were displaced. Lots of people died. I don't know the number. And it was like a catastrophe for many years. And during like the immediate aftermath, a lot of people moved into the local sports stadium that I can't remember.
Wow, okay, I get it. Yeah, that's exactly what it must be, because I was always confused about this. I'd never put two and two together.
So it's a little bit of a dark joke because it's like a refugee camp. But yeah, I think that's what he's talking to, like a Hurricane Katrina survivor who's eating like his peanut butter and jelly rations, right?
Yeah. Like because obviously I knew about Hurricane Katrina because it was like a worldwide news thing.
It's huge, yeah.
I never put two and two together. That's why, and I was like, why does he live at the aerodrome? That's such a weird place.
It's a pretty niche reference for like a British show because I know most people have heard of Hurricane Katrina, but like the people living in the aerodrome is pretty specific.
Yeah. For real. That's this is is this the first time that you've taught me something about Gavin and Stacey?
I don't know, man. I'm not keeping score like you are.
This has made the whole podcast worth it.
All right, great.
The second question I have is, have you ever had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for breakfast?
Are you kidding me? No, I'm not a big PB&J fan. I don't love peanut butter.
You don't like peanut butter? You're not a fan?
I like it as an ingredient and things, but like just like on a sandwich with a little bit of jam is a little bit too. I don't know. It's too much peanut.
Sense. You use what's like a peanut butter dessert thing? You like a
peanut butter and chocolate. Peanut butter and chocolate is usually good.
The third question is: have you ever had a middle-aged Welshman as an online buddy? In quotes.
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
There's still time.
So, based on the evidence we have, Ari is not Tony, which is unfortunate.
All right. Why? Okay, what's his accent he does for Tony here?
Oh, I was gonna say that. Bryn's American accent is just comedy gold.
But he does an American accent earlier in the episode. It just sounds like a normal, like a British person doing an American accent. But the one he does here is like Indian or something. It's very strange.
No, this is just how you sound to us, Ari. You need to know this. This is how you sound.
Great.
I watched it with subtitles on, and it did say like in like parentheses, Indian accent. So I think the reference is that this person may be like Indian American.
Yeah. So I've always thought of it as just Bryn being really bad at accents and just not really knowing what American people sound like.
It could be, But he does do it. It's weird. He does do an American accent earlier in the episode.
Exactly. I hadn't considered that he does one earlier in the episode, which was like much more accurate than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I did write. I wrote OMG like us because they were like talking about.
I did write that this is how I talk. Sometimes I'll be talking to someone else and I'll be like, yeah, I have a friend in Britain and he says it like this or whatever. Like, I thought this was, I was like, this is just like us.
For real. But yeah, then Smithy walks in and he's had a rough night, bless him. And then, all right, so there's this next little gag, which is, so Smithy sits down and he's like, no, I don't want any breakfast, don't worry about it. And they're like, no, go on, have something. And he's like, all right, I'll have a couple of sausages and a bit of that bacon and one egg.
Just the one.
Yeah. The gag here is that it's supposed to be a huge meal, right? Like that's supposed to be like
it's a lot of protein. It's a lot of protein, but
sure.
It's not a ridiculous amount of food total.
I'd say it's only ridiculous because he went into it saying that he wasn't hungry at all, and so then he like chooses 3 things. But in general, if somebody had that on their plate, I wouldn't be like, that's a ridiculous amount of food, man.
I'd be like, that's a small amount of food. Like, that seems like a small amount of food to me.
I think it's medium. I think that, there should be some other food groups in there. Yeah. But, yeah.
The teacher coming out. So, yeah, after Smithy's got his food, they start hearing some action going on upstairs. Oh, all right?
Yeah. To say the fucking least.
And that could be anything.
Oh, yeah, it could be anything, for sure. There's no implications here, but nobody is sure how to react.
Well, Smithy's smiling. He's like grinning like a little 10-year-old kid.
Smithy and Nessa, they share a little grin.
Oh, I didn't notice Nessa doing it as well.
Yeah, they both catch eyes and they sort of look down and smile like kids at school. It's a cute little moment.
Bryn is about to have a panic attack.
Yeah, Bryn's freaking out. And fucking bless Pam. She's like, everyone all right for drinks? Yeah, everyone. You want some tea?
They're all talking fucking loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when it gets kind of silent and Gwen goes like, well, we always listen to the radio. In the morning.
Yeah. They're trying to make as much noise as they can, but no one is able to keep the conversation going.
I did write that this is a fucking hilarious bit, like because Pam goes to open the radio and it's immediately like a super like sexual song.
It's a great bit. I love it so much. But yeah, while Pam is like dancing, trying to distract everyone, Gavin walks in, and Pam's face as he walks in is hilarious. She looks fuming. She's like, happy with yourself, are you? what you made me do?
And Gavin's like Stacey's in the shower actually. Washing up.
And he's ever so slightly out of breath. It's such a nice little detail. It's like breathing just a tiny bit too heavily. Like it's just enough to notice. It's great. Like you wouldn't notice it if it was just happening. But because you're looking for it, you notice it. It's so good. And a bit later in that morning, what are they doing? They're outside, aren't they?
Yes, they're outside. They're looking at all of the stuff that Gwen brought for Stacey. And Stacey's upset that she's like, this is a lot of shit. And Pam's upset too. She's like, we're not going to be able to put this anywhere. So there was some sort of like miscommunication between Gwen and Stacey, where Stacey said, bring everything. And Gwen took that literally. But Stacey meant that to be like, bring all the stuff I need and keep the rest at home. There's a bit of tension between Nessa and Stacey, ever since I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but ever since
we haven't really had very many scenes with them.
All right, so I'll with the fact that you guys aren't chiming in with a wow, Maylina, that's so astute. You're so great at analyzing situations. I'm gonna say that maybe I'm wrong about this, and I'm not gonna finish my thought.
My take is that I hadn't noticed there being tension, but there also weren't very many scenes with them, so you could be onto something.
Yeah, finish the thought, May. I want to hear what you have to say.
I was just saying, I don't know, watching this episode ever since, Nessa kind of it was implied that Nessa would maybe be taking over Stacey's room, at least until she was able to get on her feet and all that stuff, and have the baby and all that stuff. I don't know. I've noticed a bit of tension between Stacey and Nessa. I feel like for the other episodes they've seemed a lot more friendly than they do now, but maybe that's just because they don't have a lot of scenes together.
Yeah, okay. I can see why you that makes sense.
Yeah.
I won't say anything, but what you're saying does make sense.
Ha! Look at me, noticing shit. My next note, and I don't know why I have this, so let me know if you guys know. Bryn can't read a room, he's just like me for real. Is he is he not reading a room somehow?
Oh no, that's okay. I think that's a bit later. But
okay.
before this, Bryn goes, take your chill pill, Stace, keep it real. And he's throwing gang signs and
shit.
American expressions.
I just wrote, where did this come from? And obviously it's come from Tony. From Tony, you're so right.
You just know he was like, I'm going to try this out today.
You're so right.
He was practicing it in the mirror,
Yeah.
But yeah, Stacey's annoyed about the bedroom again. Fucking get over it, girl. Did your room up. Move on. And this is where Bryn can't read a room, right? Because he's like, Stacey, you won't believe it. I did the room up. It looks great. And he's like, cream it is, Pam. It's cream and plum.
You wouldn't recognize it, he says.
Yeah, you wouldn't recognize it.
And there's another scene as well, coming up later on, where he also can't read a room. near the end, and we'll get to it.
Oh, I know.
This is a very relatable Bryn episode.
Yeah. But yeah, back upstairs in the house, Nessa walks in on Smithy getting dressed. And they have a little...
What is she doing in this room anyway? I was trying to figure this out.
I think she's just finishing getting ready or something.
What does she need in this room? It's like a bedroom.
I think there's an ensuite bathroom in there, because Smithy is just getting out of the shower.
All right, got it.
So yeah, they had the little moment, and Nessa's like, "Oh, by the way, going for my ultrasound scan in a few weeks." Mm-hmm. And they have a very mature little conversation. Like I was saying, Smithy is just over the course of this 12-hour period, he's grown a lot. He's become he's taking this seriously, is what I'm trying to get at. He's
he asks to be able to go to the scan with Nessa.
Yeah.
which is very sweet of him.
And one other thing that happens is Smithy starts to ask Nessa a question. He says, "Is it?" And Nessa instantly responds with, "It is your baby. You don't have to ask. It is." And like that isn't the question that Smithy was asking. He's like, "I know. Yeah. I know it's my baby." Like he's not questioning her at all. Like it's not, that wasn't in his mind at all, sort of thing. Like it's a very sort of, it's very subtle, but I think that does say a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to come down for the scan. He's going to give her some money towards it. They're going to do it properly, and they have a handshake, and then they just go their separate ways.
Yeah, I like the handshake.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
And so we go back outside.
Yes.
And we're talking. It's like they're discussing how much fucking shit that Gwen brought over. And I believe it's Nessa that like makes out with Mick.
Whoa! This is
For God's sake, May.
This is later.
Everybody here needs to fucking chill.
Yeah, for sure.
Smithy comes out. We follow Smithy outside, and he starts talking. He's talking about Lucy, right? He says that she's at an all-day swimming gala because, of course, she is. She's everywhere.
She's got a lot of like extracurriculars.
Yeah. That's
which is good. Gonna look good on like a college application, I'm sure.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. But yeah. Nessa's heading off, and what happens, May?
So she like goes right for Mick and starts making out with him. And then you would think Pam would maybe have some sort of reaction, but she's totally cool with it. And they even like have a little bit of a handshake afterwards.
What fucking Pam is fuming.
What the fuck are they handshaking after that then?
She's like, she's got a proper face on after Nessa does that, and then she like reluctantly high fives Nessa.
Look at me reading a room.
Yeah, for sure.
I did not get that at all. I watched that episode twice, and I didn't get it either time.
You gotta rewatch it and look at Pam's face when she's snogging Mick.
All right,
she's
I'll try.
Furious.
That's fucking crazy. The way people can interpret different types of media. Am I right, guys?
That's what this podcast is all about.
But yeah, everyone starts saying goodbye after Ness leaves, and
yes, Gavin and Bryn hug, and Bryn goes, "I'm gonna miss this," and Gavin's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And Bryn's like, "Don't worry about it."
This still confuses me to this day. I don't know what this like is.
I think he just is a friendly guy.
He just loves Gavin. That's it.
Yeah,
he loves everyone.
Yeah. And Stacey's just on the verge of tears, you know. Like she's having a chat with her mum.
Maybe there should have been more steps before the marriage.
Maybe.
Because I feel like this is the episode where it gets a little bit too real for Stacey.
Yeah. It seems to have a bit of an impact on Stacey in this episode, doesn't it?
Like it's fun to be like, we're gonna live here and I'm gonna see my parents how often and da. But I think like now that it's like actually happening, it's like for her it's like hitting her that like maybe this isn't what she wants.
It's getting very real in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Gavin sort of comforts Stacey a bit, and then they wave Bryn and Gwen off. Oh no!
Well, the part where Bryn goes to see Stacey, and I discussed this earlier, but I just think it's so cute. Is like he kind of like comforts her, and he's like, "No tears, by the way."
Yeah.
And Stacey goes like, "I love you," and Bryn just like he can't even answer. He
just fucking walks away. He bolts, doesn't he? He's like, nah, I'm gone. Non-verbal. Oh, and then Gwen does have a little like she says a little phrase like, "You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs." You know.
You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. Write that down, chat. Speaking of, when we have not gotten omelets in quite a while.
I had a note about this actually. It's like we're still on number 5, the omelet counter. Like I'm surprised
it's not moving. Yeah.
It's since like episode 2, I think, was the last omelet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we've had a whole season.
I was told this show is primarily about omelets.
Fuck. But yeah.
Next scene, Bryn and Pam are in the car. Bryn's singing along
Bryn and Gwen.
And that's what I said.
Yeah.
And Bryn, I'm sorry. Okay. Bryn and Gwen are in the car, and Bryn's singing along to "Goodbye, My Lover," and Gwen's trying so hard not to fucking cry, and Bryn's not reading any of it. Occasionally, she makes a comment, and she's just like, "This song fucking sucks" or whatever, and Bryn will just get silent for a few seconds and then go right back to it.
Bryn is like, he's absolutely belting blunters right now. And Gwen is just on the verge of tears, like having a breakdown. He's just not giving her anything.
He's got a nice voice too.
Oh yeah, legit. Bryn's got pipes, man. He can fucking sing. Mm-hmm. And we get a traffic report from Nessa. I don't know why this little bit is here, to be honest. It's not relevant at all. It's just like a funny callback to the code names, I guess. But that's it. Yeah. And then, we go back and Bryn just continues.
I like that we know now Bryn likes James Blunt.
He's got a cracking voice.
And I feel like that's pretty... Yeah, that makes sense for Bryn.
That's on brand. Yeah, I think so. Did you hear about this thing that James Blunt did, like, a year or so ago, where he was re-releasing his, like, debut album, the one that did really well, the one that made him famous. And he said that if it got to, like, #1 in the charts, he would change his name to whatever like Twitter chose. So Twitter, he said like, okay, Twitter, choose what my new name will be if we get this to #1. And the name that they landed on was Blunty McBluntface, of course.
It's a classic.
But luckily, it didn't get to #1 and he didn't have to change his name.
Luckily, he brought this on himself, man. No one made him do this. I can't believe you're making me do this, guys, and I gotta change my name.
He got the best case scenario, I feel like, in that scenario, because he didn't have to change his name, but he got all of the promo from the I might change my name thing, but obviously not enough because you guys didn't know about it.
No.
But and then we have the final little scene, which is Stacey in her bedroom being very sad. And Pam asks her what she wants for dinner. And there's a big long pause. We know what's coming. And she says, "Can I have an omelette?"
I would love for this to lead right to Pam going like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
You want an omelette? That's so weird.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's fucking, it's not omelet hour as of now.
Omelette? What's omelette hour?
It's the time you would usually have an omelet, man.
Yeah, it's between 4 and 4:30.
Oh, I see. Omelette half hour.
That's French. Omelette! That's French, dude!
See?
We got there.
we can't use that again. Do we want to save omelette for another episode?
Oh, you're right.
Nah, let's burn it.
Let's burn it now.
Let's fucking do it. Let's make this game more challenging.
All right, here we go. Boom, omelette, done.
That's French.
Do we have any predictions?
Yes.
Go, Ari. What is your prediction for next week?
I'm thinking that maybe next episode's phone call will be between Stacey and her mother or a member of her family.
So you think it's going to be with Stacey and her mom?
I think a member. I'm not gonna close in on her mom. I'm gonna say a member of her family.
Okay, right, sure.
Either her or Bryn, probably.
Sure.
I think Nessa and Smithy over the course of this season are going to become pretty close. I don't know. I don't really think they're going to become like romantically involved.
Okay, what? That's like over the course of the season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just rereading these. I think their child will be named either Gavin or Stacey.
You think? Okay. I mean, that does track. Like, you know, that seems like a reasonable name, to be honest.
Yeah. I also think that what could be coming this season, I think Stacey, we were just kind of talking about this at the end, I think Stacey might kind of get cold feet. I think the reality is setting in on her a little bit. And I think she's going to start kind of being like, did I make the right choice? And she's going to have some doubts.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, that from what we've seen of this episode so far, that also makes sense. Like, she's obviously disappointed about the fact that she's no longer, like, based in Wales, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, this is a big change for her, and she's not enjoying it so far, from what we see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
May?
Stacey's gonna get a bit more a bit more critical of everything around her. Like she got upset that like all of the stuff was brought over, but that was really because she was upset about the fact that she would have to leave her mom. She was upset about like Nessa taking her room because it was kind of felt like she was being kicked out. I think she might get a bit more critical about like Pam's house and like just living in the town that she now lives in and all that stuff. And she's just gonna get a bit more negative.
That makes sense. So you think we'll see that negativity next episode, or
yes, next episode?
Okay, sure.
Because her and Smithy are both pretty emotionally immature. They react to things maybe not exactly the same way, but like very similarly. And we know this because I'm a great judge of character and I'm great at reading a room.
I'm also locking in, I think Gavin and Stacey will have a child by the end of this show.
By the end of the show?
Yeah, this is a long-term prediction.
Okay, this is a long-term.
Well, because this aren't the specials like 15 fucking decades after the
I don't think they're gonna have a.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have a new. They're not gonna have a new child in the specials. I don't think.
So the specials are set 10 years and 15 years after the end of season 3.
Got it.
Cool.
But on that bombshell, it's time for 3 good things. For those of you who might not know, at the end of each episode, we each like to share a good thing that's happened to us recently and just leave the episode on a high note. Who wants to go first?
I can go first, and you guys let me know if this is too weird and I have to pick another one. All right?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, me and my partner live together, right?
Yes.
And when we first moved in, we noticed that like every few often, let's say like once a week or so, there was this dude who would pass on the street in front of our house yelling nonsense. We don't know what the fuck he's saying. We don't think he's saying anything substantial, right? At that point in time, I had classes where I was learning about Roman legal history and like ancient Roman legal history.
Where the fuck is this going?
I swear to God, I have a point.
May, you have to know. I'm only laughing at Pierce's reaction. I'm not laughing at you.
And what happened was we learned I learned that back in the day, before like newspapers and all that shit, how they would like let people know that there was a new law is there would be like somebody in town that was responsible for going around the town and screaming it to everybody.
Right.
So our headcanon was that guy that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like a town crier, that's what they're called, right?
The town crier, yeah. And so our headcanon was that we just weren't understanding, but he was yelling out new laws. So It just became like a running gag that whenever we heard him, we were just like, there's a new fucking law. But here's the thing. Again, it's but then here's the thing. He stopped. We hadn't heard from him in like 2 to 3 years. We were like, where is this motherfucker? And then so the lore became there are no new laws. Like the legal system has not updated since 2022.
The legal system is now perfect. We don't need to do any more. It's done. We've finished.
But we started missing him. We were like, where the fuck is this guy? And what's fun is that like maybe a week ago we heard him. We heard him again. He passed in front of our house.
Cool.
and he was yelling something about like the court system being fucked. So I think what happened was he maybe had some court troubles and now he's out. and now we're about to hear all of the fucking laws that we've missed. And again, it's completely gibberish. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I get the occasional word out.
Do you think he was doing the same thing in jail, like updating everyone on the new laws?
I can only hope, man. That guy, I mean, I hope he gets like his vacations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
See, ordinarily I would cut this, but it's 3 good things, so I can't. I have to let you have it.
Yeah, I
you can't cut that. That's gold.
I'm really happy for you that you have your little friend back.
Yeah.
Ari, what is your good thing? Please, for the love of God.
I saw a movie.
Amazing! I love that good thing. That's so good. What movie did you see?
I saw the new Lilo and Stitch movie.
Oh shit, how was it?
It was pretty good. It's not a movie I normally would have seen because like it's just a remake of a movie I've already seen. It's pretty good. But my family doesn't have power right now, so we were trying to come up with things to do. So we're like, we're gonna go see this Lilo and Stitch movie. Because my siblings are young children. And so we went, and it was really good. Like we had a great time. We were laughing at all the jokes. It was really fun.
Are you a fan of the old one, like the original one?
I like the old one. Yeah. I think my favorite Disney movie is The Lion King, but Lilo and Stitch is up there. It's
basic
pretty good.
bitch, but you know.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, Piers. What's your favorite Disney movie?
Is WALL-E Disney, or is that just Pixar?
I think it's Pixar. Whenever they give emotions to something that doesn't usually have emotions, it's usually Pixar.
Fucking alright, let me look up Disney movies.
What's your beef with The Lion King? It's Shakespeare's Hamlet with lions and music by Elton John. What
not to love?
What?
See, my thing is, like, I understand that like people say that it's Shakespeare, but I've read Hamlet and I'm like, this is the only thing that they have in common is the dad's dead.
They change it so that like it's not a tragedy. All the characters don't die at the end. But if you take out like it's just Hamlet, but they like kind of cut out most of the last act.
I have amazing news. WALL-E is Disney Pixar. So fuck you, it's WALL-E.
What was that?
No one was keeping you from doing that, man.
Pierce, your favorite Disney movie can't be WALL-E. It's not allowed.
That's what you said. You said no, it's Pixar, and also you suck. Whatever.
All right. What's your good thing, Pierce?
My good thing. Oh, you're gonna make fun of me now because I made fun of you. My good thing is I don't know how much you guys use Reddit.
A little bit.
A few years ago, there were some big protests on Reddit. I don't know whether you guys remember that or were aware of it about Reddit's API system. So basically,
I don't know what any of this means, but I did hear about this.
Yeah. So basically, what it means is there's the official Reddit app, right?
Yeah.
And the official Reddit app is not good. There was a third-party app for Reddit that would just let you view Reddit, but it was much better. It was much more well-made. It was much more accessible, so like people with disabilities could use it much more easily. It was just basically way better. And then basically what happened was Reddit were like, this app is way better than ours. We don't like that. We're gonna make it so that this app can't exist. So they made some changes that basically made it so that third-party Reddit apps couldn't exist.
Wow. Cunts.
And so basically, I basically just stopped using Reddit after that point. I wasn't able to use it because I didn't like using the website, really. I didn't want to use the official Reddit app. But I was able to, over the last week, sideload the old third-party app that I used called Apollo onto my phone. So now I'm able to use Reddit again. I'm able to use the app that I really loved from a few years ago. And it's great. I'm having a great time. It's cool.
Great.
And I've always said, like, you know, Reddit in general, their API was really shit. And like when they banned third-party apps, that really sucked ass. So I'm glad you were able to get some resolution out of that whole thing. Because personally, I've always said you don't get read without it. And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, baby. Thank you ever so much for listening. If you'd like to keep up with the show, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Fishing Trip Files. Or if you ever want to get in touch with the show, for whatever reason, you can email us at thefishingtripfiles@gmail.com. If you want to help out the show without it costing a penny, please feel free to leave us a review or rating on your podcast platform of choice. We'd appreciate that very much. Once again, this podcast is produced by Another Happy Studio, so please do check out the other podcasts from them if you haven't already. All their wonderful stuff is linked in the show notes. But for now, we'll see you on the Wednesday after next at 10 a.m. with the next episode. And as we always say, au revoir.
Adios.
Rock and roll.